Hello stock traders, I hope all of you had a good trading week this last week, although this was not the best trading week for me, in fact one of my worst. We definitely had a market correction going through this last week, and also with bond yields increasing, it passed a certain point where it is bad for the stock market, and typically we see a sell-off, and that's exactly what we got, was a correction in the market. So today's video is going to be a recap of the last week and also give you some new picks that are insider picks, the top 7 insider stocks for the upcoming week. And based on the insider activity, there were many insiders that were buying the dip, and so that kind of tells us that they have confidence that this is a short-term thing, taking advantage of those low prices. In this last week, insider activity was actually very, very good. The only thing I ask in return is that you hit that most amazing and wonderful like button. Also, if you haven't done so before, please subscribe and turn on those bell notifications so you get notified when one of these videos comes out. Now, I am not a financial advisor. You of course need to do your own due diligence, but this list is filled with stocks that have a recent catalyst of insider activity and should help those stocks to perform well, and in the past they have performed well after such activity that is significant. So if you had all the top 7 stocks from Friday's pre-market video, you would have had a 0.73% loss. So small loss, overall a pretty decent day. Personally, I had a 2.71% gain. I had a couple of picks that did really well that are some of my premium callouts, and so that was good. Month to date, and I know this list did not do well the last week of February, but finishing up February overall, 26.87% gain. That is a very good month. The first 2 weeks definitely helped us. There was a point of the month where we were up almost 50% on these top 7 picks. Anyway, it came way back down with the market correction, but overall a good month and much better than January, so that is good. Year to date, personally, I am at a 57.97% gain, way on track for my 500% return, and I expect to get there. I like to use Webull to trade stocks, and the reason why I do is because I can trade as early as 3 a.m. Central Time and as late as 7 p.m. Central Time, and so that gives me an advantage, and I can unload stocks and take advantage of buyers that are wanting to get in early in the morning, and so I like that, and also all the great scanners and tools. If you are looking for a powerful broker, please check them out. We have a link in the description down below. You get 1 free stock by signing up and up to 2 free stocks when depositing money. So let's get right into it. We're going to do the top 7 review and also the review of the different levels of our Patreon and our Discord group. This was not the greatest of weeks, so this is not the greatest report, but we report whether it's good or bad. And so I think that that's important, that you take a look at your strategies and you take a look at the overall market. Now, if the overall market would have been good and I would have had terrible results, then I would be very concerned that my strategies were not working. But since the market went through a correction this last week, I feel confident that my strategies are still good and that it's just been a short dip and a good opportunity to get some stocks on the dip. So here we go. Let's start with the premium room. Sold MICT for a 0.56% loss, sold GH for an 8% gain, sold NIO for a 12% loss, sold HUTMF stock for a 72.59% gain. That was a very good pick. Sold GSAT for a 23.95% gain, sold NSPR for a 13.96% loss, sold SAVE for a 17.21% loss, sold PTQQF for a 4.25% loss, sold XRAY for a 71.4% loss. That was call options and did really poorly. Sold DPWW for a 1.5% loss, sold CTXR for a 30.99% gain, sold NVDA for a 40% loss, sold SSFT for a 2.28% gain, sold TSCRD for a 27.02% loss, sold NGAC for a 3.1% loss, sold SPRQ for a 6.06% loss, sold KRKNF for a 4.2% loss, sold EEMMM for a 2.24% gain, and sold ADSV for a 41% loss. So that was 19 total picks. 6 of them were successful. So overall, really not a great week. 31.5% win rate, although there were, I think it was 96% of the stocks this week finished in the red. So, you know, it is better, I guess, than the market, but the average gain per pick was a 5.38% loss, which was not good. All right. Now let's get to the standard room. Okay, so all of these were day trades. These are the standard picks. And the first one was AMC call options, sold for an 18.3% gain. Sold XOM call options for a 44.4% gain. Sold SYPR for a 3.46% gain. Sold AAPL for a 32% loss. And sold SPY for an 18% loss. So that was 3 out of 5. That was a 60% win rate. Average gain per pick, 3.23%. So the day trades is what did the best this week. Now to our top 7. So these are all stocks that were in our top 7 list, and here we go. CINF sold for a 4.5% gain. ONTX sold for a 9.21% gain. HOFV sold for a 15.4% loss. YAYO sold for a 1.4% loss. HEPA sold for a 9.7% loss. CRVS sold for a 10.79% loss. SVRA sold for a 7.29% loss. MACT sold for a 13.64% loss. KMPR sold for a 4.34% gain. TWO sold for a 2.4% gain. CVX sold for a 5.7% gain. SONO sold for a 6.3% gain. XAIR for a 14.7% loss. So 6 wins out of 13 total picks for a 46% win rate. Average gain per pick, a 3.1% loss. And that was much better than how the market performed this last week. So I still feel encouraged that the insiders are working and doing their thing, performing above the market. So I expect this next week to be a lot better, for things to stabilize a lot more into the market, especially if we should get some stimulus news as the market goes on. I expect to do very, very well. All right, now for stocks in the top 7 and others. Let's get going. Okay. The first one is OPK. We've had this on the list for a little while. On Friday, it finished up 1.81%. My average in it's $4.87. Since calling this out, it is down 7.60%. But Frost Gamma Investments Trust has loaded up shares. Also, they have some data to release and some news to release coming up. And so that insider activity right before that happens is very, very bullish in my opinion. Analysts have an average target price of $8.25. I think this could really fly, especially if we get great news on it. So it's definitely one to watch. The next is GTYH, and on Friday this finished down 0.14%. My average in it is $6.48. Since calling this out, this is up 12.98% so far, so doing very well. A director and a CEO bought shares at the same time. It's very bullish activity, and analysts have an average target price of $9 a share, which is over a 50% upside, so that should be good. Should continue to do well this next week. All right, now for the top 7, here we go. Number 7 is INCY. On Friday, this finished up 0.27%. My average in it is $80.49. Since calling this out, though, it is down 2.27%, but the CEO bought $1 million worth during this market. That was pretty bullish. I liked that. It showed a lot of confidence and conviction. Also, they have an FDA priority review that's been granted, and so that's another reason why this stock could really move up. I'm expecting an anticipatory run moving up to that FDA decision. Analysts have an average target price of $105.38. Number 6 is SAII. This is software acquisition, and on Friday this finished down 0.87%. My average in it is $11.29. Since calling this out, it is up 0.53%, and ASIF continues to buy shares. We're now up to 16 million in open market purchases over 3 days. So that is definitely bullish. There's lots of loading up on this. This is a SPAC, and so this is a reverse merger that could happen at any time. Hopefully they got a good company, and that's the reason why the loading up is happening. Number 5 is APLT, and this is Applied Therapeutics. Now I'm very excited about this one. On Friday, this did finish down 5.28%. This is a terrific dip buy opportunity. My average in it's $23.10. Since calling this out, it is down 5.97%, but I think this one's going to turn around really, really quickly, and here is why. The director of the company, who probably knows what the press release is going to be on Tuesday, bought shares in open market. And at the Cohen Health Conference on the 2nd of March, APLT has a presentation. Analysts have an average target price of $49.83, and most likely there is some good news to be announced. Of course, I don't know this for a fact, but the insider activity before a conference seems to suggest that it is so. Now, this is a low volume stock and a low float stock. This thing could fly on news. And so I like that a lot. Also, with that conference coming up, it should be really interesting to see how this does on Monday and how it continues to fly on Tuesday. Number 4 is DD. This is DuPont Day. And on Friday, this finished up 1.25%. My average in it is $71.33. Since calling this out, it is down 1.3%. And the director bought $500,000 worth in open market, and analysts have an average target price of $84.05. Number 3 is F. Ford, good old Ford. On Friday, this finished down 0.51%. My average in it's $11.80. Since calling this out, is down 0.93%. John Thornton, the director, bought shares at $11.62 in open market. And analysts have an average target price of $11.21, which I think is extremely light. I like this purchase with what's going on. Oil and gas prices going up. Ford making a new commitment to EV vehicles. Ford is one I've liked a lot in the past and that I've been bullish on, because they will turn things around and will move into the next era, which is electric vehicles. And I expect them to be aggressive doing so. And that's exactly how their board presented during their earnings. And so I like the insider activity. It shows conviction to me that this director feels it's going to do very well. Number 2 is brand new to the list. This is UPS. And I know you're thinking UPS, United Parcel Service. Yes, UPS. So I know this is a big company and this isn't typically what I pick, but the insider activity was really good. Anyway, on Friday, this finished up 0.20%. My average in it's $157.47 per share. Since calling this out, it's up 0.23%. Wayne Hewitt bought shares at $159.92. Analysts have an average target price of $175.92. That's the average target price. So there is some really big upside on this. I think it's got a lot of room to run, and I think it's undervalued right now, and I think that's why Wayne Hewitt bought shares, and that's why I'm interested in it also. Should be a really good stock for us to move up and really solid considering what's going on in the market. Number 1, this is one we've had for a little bit. The insider activity continues to pour in, so it makes it to be number 1, and that's the reason why it's number 1. And this is SCPS. This is Scopus Biopharma, continually having insider activity, and on Friday finished up 5.58%. My average in it's $10.40. Since calling this out, we've had this for a little while, and this has not done well, but I think it's going to turn around big time. Since calling this out, is down 10.87%. But 2 executive chairmen keep loading up. Mr. Greenspan keeps going and loading shares at open market. Analysts have an average target price of $20 a share on this stock, so I like it for that reason. I think there's some news out. It's just too much insider activity for me to not think so. Even though the activity has been smaller lately, they're loading up each and every day. They're not missing a day to load up on these shares. And so I like that, definitely, and that makes me think it's going to move upwards. Well, I wish all of you the best on the market. I do expect this market to turn around. I think this was a short correction. I don't think long term that it's going to be bad, and I know the insiders will outperform the market. So if you are looking for a way to outperform the market, it's important to pay attention to this top 7 list and all these insider picks that I have, because they will, just on average, and have over the last 5 years, they constantly outperform the market, and that's what you're looking to do. There are going to be dips in the market, but you always want to be ahead. And I've proven just over the last 5 years that the insiders will beat the market. That's how it works. No guarantee of future results. But if you go off a long period of history, this strategy has worked because stocks with insider purchases tend to move upwards in their direction. You can go back and you can look at it over and over again, and it happens. It will beat the market. And even with these bad results that we had this last coming week, we are still beating the market. So it's important to remember that, to not freak out and keep with the strategy, especially if it's outperforming the market. That's how you need to compare of whether it's successful or not. Wishing you all the best on the market this next week, and Raythoven out.